The Galactic Council had watched Earth for nearly 40 years. They observed the small blue planet with a mixture of curiosity and amusement. Humans were considered a young species. They had only discovered faster-than-light travel 3 decades ago. Their ships were basic. Their weapons were outdated by galactic standards. The 12 elder races saw humanity as harmless children playing in the cosmic sandbox. Ambassador Hun of the Empire stood before the massive viewing screen in the council chamber. His gray skin reflected the light of 1,000 stars displayed on the holographic map. He was presenting his proposal to the other 11 representatives. His voice carried the confidence of a species that had conquered 40 star systems. Earth possesses 17 patrol vessels and 4 light cruisers, Hun announced. Their largest ship is barely capable of carrying 200 crew members. They have no capital ships, no orbital defense platforms of significance. I propose we absorb their territory into the Empire. They will become a worker class. Their planet is rich in resources we require. The other council members exchanged glances. Some nodded in agreement. They were powerful. No one wanted to oppose them directly. Earth was weak. It would be easy. High Counselor of the Collective raised one of her 4 arms. Have the humans been informed of this proposal? Hun's thin lips curled into something resembling a smile. We have given them 7 days to surrender. They have refused. They claim they will defend themselves. Laughter rippled through the chamber. The idea of humanity defending itself against the war fleet was absurd. They had 300 warships. Their flagship alone was larger than all of Earth's vessels combined. On Earth, the situation was far from humorous. In Geneva, the United Earth Defense Council met in emergency session. Military commanders from every nation sat around a circular table. At the head of the table sat Admiral Sarah. She was 62 years old. Her hair was silver. Her eyes were sharp as daggers. She had served in Earth's first interstellar conflict against space pirates 12 years ago. She knew what war meant. The fleet will arrive in 6 days, reported General. We cannot win a conventional battle. Our ships are outnumbered 20-1. The room fell silent. Fear hung in the air like thick smoke. Some generals looked defeated already. Others were angry but helpless. Admiral stood slowly. She placed both hands on the table. Ladies, and I believe it is time. General frowned. Time for what, Admiral? Walked to a control panel on the wall. She entered a code that only 5 people on Earth knew. The floor trembled slightly. A hidden section of the wall slid open, revealing a second screen. On it appeared an image that made every person in the room gasp. Project Leviathan, said quietly. We have been preparing for this day since we first made contact with alien life. The image showed a ship, but calling it a ship was like calling an ocean a puddle. It was of impossible size, 5 kilometers long, 2 kilometers wide. Its hull was black as the void between stars. Thousands of weapon ports lined its surface like scales on a dragon. It had been hidden for 30 years in a hollowed-out asteroid in the belt. How is this possible? Whispered General Wei of the Chinese delegation. We never had the technology. Admiral's expression did not change. We captured alien technology from a crashed vessel in 1987. We have been reverse engineering it ever since. Every budget discrepancy, every classified project, every unexplained expense, it all went here. Leviathan is not just a ship, it is Earth's fist. The ship carried 1,200 fighter craft. It had 48 heavy plasma cannons. It possessed shield technology that they did not even know existed. Its crew numbered 15,000 highly trained soldiers who had been living aboard for the past decade. Why did we hide it? Asked General. Turned to face him. Because we knew this day would come. We knew that if we revealed our true strength, the galaxy would unite against us. They would destroy us before we could prepare, so we played weak. We let them laugh at us. We let them underestimate us. And now they have made the mistake we were waiting for. The next 6 days were tense. The fleet entered the solar system with arrogance. Admiral commanded from his flagship the Dominance. He expected Earth to surrender at the sight of his armada. 300 warships emerged from hyperspace near Jupiter. They formed a massive wall of metal and fire. Earth's 17 patrol vessels met them at the edge of Mars' orbit. They looked pathetic against the fleet. Admiral opened a communication channel. "Humans," he said with contempt, "you have one final chance. Surrender now or face extinction. Your primitive vessels cannot harm us. Your species will serve the Empire or it will die." On the bridge of the lead patrol vessel, Captain James smiled. He was young, only 35 years old, but he had trained for this moment his entire career. "Admiral," replied calmly, "on behalf of the United Earth Defense Council, I must respectfully decline your generous offer. We suggest you withdraw from our solar system immediately." Laughed. The sound was harsh and grinding. "You dare threaten me with those toys? Very well, human. Your species has chosen death." The fleet began to advance. Their weapons powered up. Energy readings spiked across the entire fleet. They were preparing to fire. Then something happened that would remember for the rest of his very short life. Space itself seemed to tear open behind Earth's tiny fleet. A massive hyperspace portal appeared. It was larger than anything they had ever seen. From within the portal emerged a shape so enormous that sensor officers across the fleet refused to believe their instruments. The Leviathan entered normal space. It was a monster of human engineering. Its hull absorbed light, making it look like a moving piece of the void itself. Thousands of weapon systems activated simultaneously. Its shields powered up with an energy signature that exceeded the entire fleet combined. 1,200 fighter bays opened like the mouths of hungry predators. Admiral stared at his screen. His gray face turned pale. "That is impossible. Where did they hide such a vessel?" No one answered him. There was no answer that made sense. Admiral's voice crackled across every communication channel. She spoke calmly as if she were ordering lunch, rather than commanding the most powerful warship ever built. "Fleet, this is Admiral Sarah of the United Earth Leviathan. You have entered sovereign human space with hostile intentions. You have threatened our planet. You have threatened our people. I am giving you exactly 30 seconds to reverse course and retreat to the edge of our solar system. Failure to comply will result in your complete destruction. This is not a negotiation. This is not a request. This is your only warning." The fleet hesitated. Some ships began to drift backward. Others held position waiting for orders. Admiral felt something he had never experienced before in battle. He felt fear. "All ships fire," he screamed. "Destroy that vessel." 300 warships opened fire. Plasma bolts and energy beams streaked toward the Leviathan. The humans watched calmly as the barrage approached. The shots hit the Leviathan's shields and simply vanished. They did not even cause the shields to flicker. The weapons might as well have been throwing stones at a mountain. Admiral nodded to her weapons officer. "Return fire. Disable their flagship. Destroy any vessel that continues hostilities." What happened next took exactly 4 minutes and 17 seconds. The Leviathan's plasma cannons spoke with thunder that echoed across space. Each shot punched through shields like paper. Fighter craft launched in waves, overwhelming enemy point defense systems. Missiles with tracking systems centuries ahead of galactic standard technology found their targets with perfect accuracy. The Dominance lost its engines in the first 30 seconds. Admiral watched in horror as his flagship drifted powerless. Around him, the fleet was being systematically dismantled. Ships exploded. Others surrendered, broadcasting emergency signals. Some tried to flee, but the Leviathan's fighters hunted them down. When it was over, 112 vessels had been destroyed. 173 had surrendered. Only 15 had escaped to hyperspace to tell the tale. The Galactic Council received the news within hours. The 12 elder races gathered in emergency session. The viewing screen showed images of the Leviathan. It showed the wreckage of the fleet. It showed Admiral being escorted off his ship in restraints. High Counselor was the first to speak. Her voice trembled slightly. The humans deceived us. Ambassador Hun said nothing. He could not speak. His people's greatest fleet had been destroyed by a species they considered inferior. His career was finished. His empire's reputation was shattered. Admiral appeared on the Council's communication screen. She stood on the bridge of the Leviathan. Behind her, human officers worked efficiently at their stations. Council members, she began. Humanity never wanted war. We never wanted to reveal our capabilities. We preferred peace and quiet development, but your friends forced our hand. Let this be a lesson to all of you. Earth is not weak. Earth has never been weak. We simply chose not to display our strength. We hoped we would never need to. She paused, letting her words sink in. From this day forward, Earth will be taking a permanent seat on this council. Any objections will be noted and ignored. Any future threats against our planet will be met with overwhelming force. We do not seek to conquer anyone. We do not wish to rule the galaxy. We only want to live in peace. But make no mistake, we will defend ourselves. We will protect our people. And we have weapons you cannot even imagine. The council chamber was silent. No one objected. No one dared. Humanity had finally revealed itself to the galaxy. They were not the weak children everyone assumed. They were survivors. They were builders. They were warriors when necessary. And they had been watching and learning and preparing for 40 years. The Leviathan remained in Earth orbit as a permanent reminder. Other ships were under construction in hidden facilities across the solar system. Humanity was just getting started. The galaxy had made a mistake by threatening Earth. Now they would have to live with the consequences. Admiral returned to her quarters that night. She poured herself a glass of whiskey and looked out at the stars. Somewhere out there, other species were reconsidering their opinions about humans. Good, she thought. Let them wonder. Let them worry. Earth was safe. That was all that mattered. The hidden had emerged, and the universe would never look at humanity the same way again.